Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and we are playing as the Russian Socialist Federative Republic. Our name keeps changing. Yay! Alright, anyways, we've sent a bunch of volunteers to go hang out like the cool kids that we are. Um, we probably should prevent the Greeks from totally collapsing. That would be ideal. This is infantry. We want a defendy guy. Orav will do. Is this total skill? Eh. Alright, Boris. Show me what you can do. Do we want to try to cut off Constanza? I think that's probably what we want to do, right? Officer Corps? Spirit of the Army? An apolitical army. Ideological loyalty. Craft of Totenblen. Spirit of Suvorov. And these are the ones we get. I mean, more experience gain? Apolitical army versus ideological loyalty. Probably apolitical right now. Makes everything cheaper. Make good when things cheap. Alright, specialists. Academy of the Black Epaulets. You probably want people good at infantry. How are things going over here? Badly? Could be worse. I think it might be over in China. I think we might be screwed. I think I'm gonna pull the plug on this, because we've hit the collapsing morale modifier. We have desertions common. Yeah. We're recalling. Alright, the Serbs are here. Alright, Mr. Dovator. Oh boy. Theorist. Sablin. The Sabulator. Alright. Oh, we're correcting that course of history. How are things going over here? Badly. What happens if we go... Australia? Alright, the supply situation is just really not good. We're gonna haul. We're gonna draw back to Cartagena. And just sort of chill there briefly. How are we doing in Romania? As soon as these guys finish moving, I'm gonna, like, pounce. Yeah, we're just gonna go. We're gonna create a fantastical pocket. Alright, well, good job, guys. I mean, we could just, like, march to Varna. Take Constanza. Oh, that's bad for them. You're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. You're gonna attack there. You're gonna attack Burgos. And then go back to Varna. And just stay at Varna. Yeah, that's quite disastrous for them. Alright. Correct the course of history. The election of the first premier. The early days of the Republic have been tumultuous, but with many socialists not yet aligned to any faction, some seats have changed multiple times already due to recall elections. But as the Constitution has been accepted, the electoral system is also stabilizing. As a large number of delegates continued their terms to the Congress of Soviets and labor unions. Many older socialists remember the great day of 1917 with tears in their eyes, as masses of people are freely gathering to decide on matters that concern their lives. After so much pain and persecution, the working class is free once more. The first vote of the Congress is naturally on the election of the Premier, who would serve as symbolic head of state and preside over sessions of Congress, acting as its chairman or chairwoman, as an important mention considering Spiridonova's strong chances. The Premier's true power is being in the middle of everything. being able to influence politics through their advice and arguments. It's expected that one of the older, respected figures will be elected. Votes are not yet counted, but both Vladimir Levski and Maria Spiridonova seem to have a great amount of support. Through struggle, you will ascend. Alright, Socialist Revolutionary Party. We did it. The SRs. We're going to rebuild the party. The split of the SRs is a great tragedy, especially the left wing of the party, the wing closest to the SR's roots. Now that we are finally in charge, it's time to make some amends, create the party, the masses we've always been known for. Oh boy. Direction of the revolutionary struggle. At long last, the decades-long struggle for the party of the peasants to gain power has arrived. And unfortunately, the struggle to govern shall probably last some decades more. The SRs may have the highest number of seats in Congress, but they still govern alongside the VST, whose vision of socialist Russia is radically different from theirs, that of Western syndicalism and modernity. For many, like Chairman Minister Boris Kamkov, this is fine, a healthy compromise. Different ideals aside, the Workers' Coalition is still working towards the same end goal, a free and equal Russia. The brief yet disastrous Bolshevik rule over Russia has proved that a one-party state will only lead to ruin and authoritarianism. Socialist democracy can only work through the cooperation of Russia's left, or will lead to more of the same. But for the other SRs, like comrades Ustinov, Kolygiev, and Levinovsky, this is foolish and naive, belonging to the maximalist wing of the party. Let's see, which one of these? Yeah. They despair at what is seen as defeatism and the loss of true revolutionary sentiment in the party, which in their eyes has capitulated to bourgeois elements. The SRs are the true party of the peasants, who are the majority of people in Russia. The first Congress has shown that of that people, and you cannot claim to be working on behalf with their shameful compromises. As was always meant to be, the SR shall guide Russia into its socialist and revolutionary future, and if the communists were to be cowed into submission to make it happen, so be it. While there was shock at these sentiments, the party ended up more divided than it once thought. The SRs could not face another Lenin who would usurp socialist democracy, so it had to keep the coalition. And yet, it could not face another Lenin who would destroy the peasants' Russia, so the coalition must be destroyed. Chairwoman Spiridonova took no part in the debate. In the end, the prevailing mood was, we must protect democracy at any cost. Add, fulfilling Spiridonova's vision. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Not long after elections to Congress, Perman Spiridonova made an emotional speech outlining the future of Russian socialism. She claimed that the political revolution had arrived in its fullest in Russia, but the social revolution was yet to come. What was to be of the social revolution? The Soviets must take power into their hands and implement laws, she said, without people's self-organization. The government will not be able to save socialism now or in the future. The ultimate goal of the Workers' Coalition is to lay the groundwork for that self-organization. However, she explained, these developments must be careful and controlled as to ensure that Russian socialism never backslides into Bolshevik Czechism again. The Matushka's words have been echoed across the SRs, but only a select few are truly dedicated to it. Those calling themselves Spiridonovists, including Boris Kamkov, Vladimir Karelin, Ilya Mayrov, and others have fully committed themselves to her vision in the Spiridonovist Manifesto. Some have already decried the Spiridonovist Manifesto as a political move designed to divide the SRs rather than unify them. Let us not falter. While they criticize us at every turn, we will work tirelessly towards the second stage of the revolution, a vision for the future. By building up faith, we can improve the Spiridonova's vision, national spirit. Taking focus on the right side, the political tree in a row will increase faith incrementally while also spending political power. The gains and losses, respectively, will be offset by taking focus on the left side of your political tree. Oh, boy. So... okay. Anyways. We, probably want to not lose whatever's going on here. We really need to wait for these guys to boost boy back up. Alright, how are we doing in Romania? How are we doing in Serbia? Could be doing worse. I don't know if I need to attack there at all. Whereas here, I totally need to attack. Yeah, alright, ending their hostilities. So our little period of peace has been broken. Alright, our forces have returned home. Good for them. We did get some XP from that. We're gonna back up to here, to this rail line. We may need to retreat further to Varna. I don't know if attacking there is going to do anything. Attacking here is a good idea, though. Try to hold. Yes! Sickos. Try to go to Nish. Just chill there. Hold that point. Maybe use it as a opportunity to push on Sofia. Holding Constanza is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know how valuable that is, but it is doing some. Oh. Okay. The Green Partisans! The reactionary opposition was unable to mount organized resistance against us, but the ugly remnants of Savankonism and Kornilovism are still alive. In many of the rural and distant regions, peasants have organized to resist attempts by the people's government to reach them. In some regions, they have been blocking roads and refusing taxes. In others, there have been armed raids against the people's militia. This is made more difficult by the workers' self-organization, which has allowed these resisting peasant communities to elect their own officials, often candidates of the clergy. What are these men protesting against? The common rallying cry is, "We have the land, we don't need more." Ironically, the land reforms have now come to bite us in the back. Unlike in 1917, the majority of Russian peasants are landowners, or own land throughout their village, and have no hated landlord class ruling over them. This was thought to inoculate Russia against socialism, and it seemed to have worked. Because, with such conditions, there's not much socialists can promise to these people, and their fears are great, as many remember the wartime grain requisition policies. An alliance of peasants and the clergy, bolstered regionally by the Cossacks, have become the source of the so-called Green Partisans, to declare they are fighting for faith and property of every man. We need, oh boy, going to the people. We need to send educators to the people, like the Narodniks of old. Okay. Anti-socialist resistance. Oh boy. It's a revolution, baby. Alright, these guys' fighting strength is terrible. This is not a good situation. We're actually gonna we're gonna pull these guys out and send guys back in. Yeah. I think we maybe try to spoil by attacking Ruse. Fight some Germans, I guess. Who could hate such a thing? Just like go here. Is that a thing? Let's try doing that. Stand off in America. I see. Alright, Civil War's gonna start sooner rather than later. Norway's joined the Entente. That's not good. Alright, so if I go there, I can probably take Sofia. Golly. Oh, never mind, that's fine. Come on. Come on. Capture Sofia. If you capture Sofia, and you can hold Sofia. Nice. Nice. You can stop attacking. That's probably in your best interest. Do not be attacking. Everything's going into China. Badly. No, we can't attack there. No, halt, cease, cease, cease. Okay. We've almost finished rebuilding the party. Okay. Question of the Ministry of Industry. Okay. With the makeup of the Congress determined, it's expected the positions of the Council of People's Ministers are to follow suit. As the latter is directly elected by the former, it's guaranteed that many of the positions will be filled by the SR candidates. Of course, the VST has demanded seats in the Executive Council, and some in the SRs by no means desire to push the communists out. Plenty of them are at least amicable to the SR interest, after all. In particular, several candidates have been drafted as the holder of the Ministry of Industry and Trade. The most notable of these, hailing from the VST, is Stanislav Strumilin. Strumilin maintains a close relationship with Levitsky, who will probably be a valuable non-SR ally. That being said, his economic policy is planist and industrialist, and there's no doubt he may come into conflict with the SR's own economic program. On the opposite side of the spectrum is Menshevik Alexander Fin-Yevanovsky, who has a much more similar economic outlook to ours than the VST. His appointment would only neglect the Workers' Coalition, though, correct as those ideas may be. Perhaps the best option would be a compromise instead. Sergei Kirov, aligned to the centrists in the VST in terms of economic policy, could work as a middle ground if we desire it. Let's see. Probably do want Sergei Kirov. Compromise is key. Okay. So this will improve our faith. Ah, this is what they mean. Whoa. Great Bolshevik trial. Empower peasant collectives. This would remove Black Monday. Have we not removed Black Monday? Oh, we're about to. I'm gonna wait. Waiting. Shandong Click was annexed. Yeah. Nanjing is about to win. Hey, road to recovery. The German depression struck Russia like a tidal wave. Although the floodwaters have not entirely receded, it has become clear that the worst has passed. Red lines that once staked across whole city blocks have dwindled, but the capitalism that's plagued the Russian people so much has finally been slain. The true people's economy is beginning to show itself. Russia stands strong. Alright, we need to press a button. We can empower peasant collectives. Oh, having Ilya Medrov hired as an advisor will grant us... Who is that? Aha. Okay. We can gain... Ahaha. Okay. Extended land socialization gives us more faith or more political power and stability. We will fundamental... Okay. Land of the tiller. From here on out, private ownership of Russia's lands, waters, and natural resources is to be abolished, and the ownership is transferred to the masses without compensation to the exploited landowners. Russia's land belongs to its toiler, not the reactionary aristocrats who inherited it. That seems like an SR thing to do, so let's do it. I am concerned about spending political power, though I am tempted by the possibility of the synthetic dye plants. Ooh, giving us factories, which would be good. So we will do that. And we will hold. Okay. The Bulgarians lost. Good for them. Whoa. Yay. On security matters. Good job, Serbia. Yeah, so taking the Bulgarians off of the... Taking the Bulgarians off the board is in our best interest. Or at least reducing their strength. On security matters. It has not been that long since the socialist revolution swept Russia like a tidal wave. Just like the economic crash did, I guess. That is precisely the reason why the Ministry of Internal Affairs is so important. German agents, Svobodniks, and other nationalist saboteurs will seek to bring us down at every opportunity, and public security is of the utmost importance. The Ministry of Internal Affairs is responsible for the... Hold on, let me check something. Okay. We don't know where they're coming from. Ministry of Internal Affairs is responsible for the VGPU and People's Militias, so it is just as important who will be the one to wield control over it. Rising star, party and publicist Nikolai Zabdanov has become the favorite choice for many in the SR, and the man Boris Kamkov endorsed the decision. Zabdanov's major works are in Russian history, and has even gone into great depth with the local Russian history in the Urals, Siberia, and the Far East. Despite the dominance of the right wing of the SRs before the recent socialist revolution, Zabdanov was an active participant in trying to make the SR go back to its more left-wing roots, and was imprisoned in the Savnikovist regime for organizing strikes. For these reasons, he is seen as a great martyr of the democratic socialist cause and someone trustworthy enough to have the position. Zabdanov's challenger is Andrei Kolgayev, an attorney in the maximalist wing who's gained a reputation as a defender of peasants, even among those in the SRs. Kolgayev has little patience or desire for cooperation with the other socialists in the Workers' Coalition, earning him a great favor among many hardliner SRs for the same reason that many are apprehensive about maximalist control of the Interior Ministry. Fears it will be used against other socialist forces and destroy the coalition are not completely unfounded. Zabdanov is clearly the man for the job. Is there a UI point where I can see what my faith is at? Currently, faith is 7. Okay. On the right side. This is the right side. Having Nikolai Zabdanov hired as an advisor will assist in reaching an agreement with the VST. So I should probably get to hiring these guys. That's why I need political power. Hey, it's Alexandra Kollontai. I know her. Anyways. Alright, I am going to see... there's so many names where I'm like, I recognize that from the podcast. Alright, I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.